Why didn't they ever wear their hat this way? I mean, it could have been a fad in the culture, you know. You could use one to hang your hat on and your hat. This is my hat. Wait a minute. Hang your coat on. Yeah, that's it. Hang your coat on this side, and this side you could use to gore yourself in the shoulder. No, probably not. Okay. Anyway, I just wonder if Norse culture though would have tolerated some of the things going on today in our culture. I just saw this video the other day. It reminded me of, you know, I don't auto-tune things. I just auto-tune myself when I can. They're driving through your... A little loud, isn't it? Driving through your neighborhood, snatching all your hoop poles up behind your coat hats. Now, how'd your backboard too? Cause they're bulldozers and everybody's out there, taking everybody's out there. Don't bother asking them why. They're gonna find you. They're gonna find you. And hear ladies say you're gonna get it back. Hey, then boys knock it down. Baby, see now it's jacked you. Don't worry, she lied, so now we got it all tracked in. A million people gonna wanna see her get smacked. I think the system has pretty much been hacked. How many people got cracked when they're driving down your neighborhood, snatching all your poop poles up? Got hydro cut, hydro net, hydro backboard too, cause they're bulldozing, everybody's out there. Bulldozing, everybody's out there. Gets me right here, no, right here. Anyway, yeah, maybe, yeah, we'll do it like that. That would be cool. Now that is effective, you know. That resembles some kind of prehistoric thing, probably. Or, okay, yeah. But, yeah, this is a promotion for my new video that only 50 people have seen so far, and I can't for the life of me figure out why. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's one of the few I've done where I've run a bunch of clips together. It's kind of a political satire thing. It's got me posing as the sledding safeties are, and I'm talking about headwear that isn't approved at one point, and my friend puts on his Viking hat and goes downhill. You got to check it out. It's kind of fun. And I did my own version of Kill the Wabbit, Kill the Wabbit. What key did I do that in? I can't remember. Anyway. You know, we got these people who had a 60-year-old basketball hoop that's hanging over into the street, as most of them do, so children can play on it, of course. I don't see a problem, you know. In a cul-de-sac, come on. I don't see a problem on a street as long as it's not a high-traffic street where there's, you know, I mean, there's places you can't practically play. But I don't see a problem in a residential area where it's not, you know, it's a low speed limit and you've got a lot of visibility on both sides. You know, if you have 100 or 2 feet, you know, somebody, even if they're going to sleep, they're going to see the kids before they hit them. And, you know, generally having a bunch of kids playing basketball, it's pretty hard to miss, you know. And they're going to get out of the way when they see a car coming anyway, usually, unless they're in Eugene, Oregon, in which case, one time I had a guy walk out, and this punker just walks out in front of me, and just stands there, stopped in the street, I'm like, could you please move? But, yeah, some places they may do that, but most towns it would be okay to have a basketball court, I think, you know, where kids can play from the street and you don't have to go to the work of building the court. Now this may seem like a minor issue with all the things going on today, but you know, if we can't get the small things right, we can't get the big things right. We don't have any right to be out fighting wars if we're so dumb that we hire people who just impose these petty regulations that mean absolutely nothing. And they spend, how much do they spend? They send out a dump truck and a bulldozer and a police car, you know, to get these people's hoop because they didn't want to give it up. And you know, I mean, they sent out a whole crew of guys, and they still knocked it over. The guys were so lame, they just stood around, or they told them they couldn't, or something, I don't know. My. Yeah, so anyway, the family had every right to have, you know, they earned money to buy the stuff, put it on their own property, and it's not interfering with anybody else's life, and there is absolutely no reason to make up petty regulations that just do arbitrary things, telling people they can't park their car in front of their house, or whatever it is, you know, just ridiculous stuff that people do. I remember in Eugene, I was always getting harassed in Springfield when the neighbor would call in my car when I'd driven it the night before, and it's a 72-hour zone. You know, put a warning on my car and hassle me because I'm, you know, there overnight. But anyway, yeah, it just seems like more and more people like that. And it just makes a very inefficient country, and they're cutting their own throat in the long run. I mean, it's going to completely implode on itself because you can't sustain this utopian ideal. Once you start to try to wedge to get that, it's complex. There's people who are manipulating, they're change mongers, and they see the opportunity to appeal to the people of a utopian mindset, and they use those stupid people, and they are stupid. Don't argue with me, they are stupid, because, I mean, you know, there are just realistic limits to everything. Humanity is corrupt, people's hearts are corrupt. You're never going to have a perfect situation on earth. You know, you just got to deal with that. The corruption of man is exceedingly high. Jeremiah said, the heart is wicked and deceitful above all things. Who can know it? You know, God knows the heart. He rewards man according to his, so on. But the person can't even see their own heart, nonetheless somebody else. And so people often have hidden agendas, and they're doing things for all kinds of reasons. But, you know, there should be just some kind of recourse for people that, you know, quickly get a hearing on such things. Of course, in a court system where you've got, you know, it's not like Belgium, or I think it's Belgium, where they have automatic retribution if you falsely accuse somebody, like the 1,000 people who were accusing Michael Jackson, you know. Sorry, that wasn't real. 99% at least of those people probably were lying, and they were just trying to make a killing off of a very rich guy at the time, they thought. But it turns out he, I guess, had some debts. But anyway, so in Belgium, if you do that, and you don't have evidence to support your case, and you're just making a flailing accusation about something, hey, it might have happened, but you better have evidence, because otherwise it just opens the floodgate for just a whole bunch of junk. A local guy here had a woman accusing him of stalking her, and unfortunately she called him while he was at the police station, or called him in, excuse me, and accused him of stalking her while he was at the police station filling out papers. Well, they didn't even do anything to the woman, and that's the most heinous crime you can imagine. I mean, and here lately we've had, you know, just so many things where it just, with police going out and shooting guys in wheelchairs and stuff. There's a guy in a wheelchair, and he was stuck in the street, I heard, and the guy pulled out something, the policeman thought it was a knife, and he shot the guy. Now, if you're a policeman and you're afraid of a guy in a wheelchair with a knife, please listen to me. Quit! Okay? Get out of the occupation, get into some place where you don't feel threatened, perhaps a nursery, you know, I don't know, wherever you have to go that you don't feel, that's not safe either, probably. Your dishwashing jobs are, you know, usually good, though it may be on your nerves when the dishes smash or something and cause you to go ballistic. But anyway, I don't want to, you know, belabor it, but yeah, quit. Find a new job. This woman who lied to the guy, I hope enough people call in to where she loses her job and is made an example of, and she doesn't just get an internal investigation where they lay her off or reposition her somewhere else, but she gets fired and put out of her job, and maybe she has to do something where she learns some basic morals so that she isn't lying about people. I mean, you always hope for that end. It rarely happens probably, but you always hope for that. So I hope a lot of people do call them and basically, you know, even, you know, make things very difficult for them to operate until they make this right for the people and get them their basketball court back. They stole their property, somebody made up some petty law and then hassled them, and then they didn't even listen when they sent a letter in complaining about it and trying to reason with them. And there's just no excuse for that. And when somebody sees something like that going down, we want to set a precedence where it's like, trouble, trouble. You know, and I don't expect for anything to ever work out on anything pretty much in this world. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian, yeah. I'm obviously a Christian. I'm wearing a Viking hat with inverted horns. But yeah, there's, you know, just so many things in this world that we see and we hope, you know, work out this way or that way. But I can't put my hope in those things because people are just too messed up. But they need a relationship with Jesus Christ. They need to know that He loves them and He's God in the flesh. He came to die for them. He died to give them a reason to get into a relationship with God and to find direction from Him and to cease striving after their own selfish ambitions and to laying up just, you know, things in this world for their own security, and instead maybe start looking at what they can do to be functional. Boy, it's dusty in here. So I could use a maid, you know, if anybody knows anybody, but especially one that's single and is looking for some insane person like me to, you know, just keep your feelers out there for me. 'Cause they're driving through your neighborhood, snatching all your who pulls up. Who pulls up? Is that the words? Yeah, it's who pulls up. I'm sorry. Yeah, they can't snatch your hoop cord up. That would take a lot more energy. And they might try that though. They might send out an earth mover and some kind of thing to lift the ground and just move the whole thing out. That would not be beyond the effort they would take to do a $50 job for a city like that, probably. That's pathetic, people. It's just pathetic. I can't imagine the inefficiency of some of the things I see in this world. I kind of try to be efficient because I've always had to live within my own means. I've always known what it is to supply my own needs. I haven't had, you know, people just donate a lot of stuff. Janet Pilgrim donated that synthesizer right there, and his wife wanted it out of the way, and praise God, yeah, sure, I'll take that. Thanks, Janet. But other than that, let's see, anything else around here? Most of these things I got cheap and just fixed them up to have a free museum where people can walk through and see some of the synthesis technology of yesteryear, and it's a lot of fun to show people that stuff. I love real instruments that, you know, unfold aspects of the creation, and you hear the depths of creation in these things. And I think I'm totally off the subject, isn't it? I don't know, we'll probably wrap around to the original subject. But yeah, you know, while it seems like a small issue to some people, maybe just somebody losing their basketball hoop, people died for the right to have reasonable freedoms. And these people aren't hurting anybody else. There's nothing going on here except for a petty bureaucrat coming in and making up a rule so that they can screw up people's lives, make their kid go down to school. Now their kid gets picked up by some molester. Who is responsible if that happens? I'm just saying. I don't want that to happen to them. But if the kid wants to play basketball, they can't do it in their lawn anymore. They got a sloping driveway. It would cost them a fortune to put up a basketball court there that isn't the street, okay? And as you know, one of the great things about America is that we made do with what we had, and we learned to work efficiently together. Now we got all these utopian nincompoops trying to strain out every gnat, and they are swallowing the big camel. And that's a basic principle of life. You know, you try to get too detailed with things, and you completely lose perspective. And I think people need to repent of that, and they need to see where things are going. And I hope some people call in and really support these people in their effort there, but also set a precedence so that, you know, people will know that when they put a little fear in public servants to remind them that they're servants, you know, because they don't think they are anymore. I think they think that they are in a power position where they are over the people that are paying their salaries, and that's corrupt. They aren't over the people that are paying their salaries. They don't make any money by taking a dump truck out and knocking over a basketball court. That doesn't do anything for anybody. That doesn't produce anything. It's destroying things, okay? So anyway, yeah, just I saw a few people, very few people, that were sympathetic to the cause of the Department of Transportation. Just like, how can anybody not get this? But I see, you know, people just get, you know, focused in on, well, you know, they might have had some reason for it, or they, you know, this is the authorities and we should just listen to it, or whatever thing it is. But, you know, we appoint these people and we have process to bring about rules that are reasonable, and that should happen. And people that are in those positions who are trying to make unreasonable rules should be pointed out and gotten out of there. And that's what we really need to, you know, focus on if we're going to salvage anything here for kids to be safe and to have a place to grow. And, you know, you always hope for that, even though, you know, it doesn't look like it's going in that direction. The hope and change has been deranged so far, and if we get, you know, another term of this guy who's a foreign exchange student from Indonesia, you know, I really don't know what's going to happen. But I said it would take about a year and a half or two for him to completely run things down to the point where we are so in debt that it just looks ridiculous. And I believe they were trying to set up another scenario like the Great Depression, where they just pull the rug out from under everybody and everybody panics, and you have hey, well, we could have this world government thing, and you know, try to invoke that at that time, present this utopian solution. But anyway, makes me tired to think about it.